aka Eileen, the little crafted additional information about this show, arts, cast, and everything in between, can be found on my website, eileenlittlecrafted.com. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I'm sorry that I was MIA last week. Kind of needed a break, and I was coming with the teen. So it was kind of like my brain was on vacation. Alrighty, so today show is going to be about spring anime 2019. You guys know that I love anime, so super excited to be talking about this topic because it is one of my favorite topics to talk about. What? Besides, crafting and stuff, which I know I gotta get back on my grind, and let's see how, things go with the future. And I do have a to share with you guys a Mani and Me box, so I'm pretty excited about that. We have the May 2019 box that just came out, and so super duper excited to share with you guys. That's very soon. All right, so I would like to give a shout out to everyone who has been listening. There are particular countries. I would like to thank everyone in the U.S., Germany, Finland, Brazil, Japan, Mexico, Canada, Philippines, France, and India. Thank you so much, very much, everyone who has been listening. You guys are awesome sauce. Thank you. Everyone who's been listening on YouTube, SoundCloud, where else? iHeart, Speaker, of course, and where? Oh, yes, we are now on Google Play or Google Plus. So I am super excited about that. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in on over there. And those who have been listening on my website, I do have my links, well, kind of like my player, of the podcast over there. Where else? Those of you who follow me on social media and follow my links from Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook. I think that's about it. So if I've missed anything, I apologize. Yeah, gotta have that social media account. All right, moving on right along. All right, so you guys know that I love me some anime, and I'm super excited. For me, winter was like wah wah wah. There was no anime that I can honestly say that I really enjoyed listening to, and I want to make sure that I'm really speaking into the mic here. So let me try and put this down and make sure that you guys can definitely hear me. All right, so all right, first on my list, this was a little confusing for me because I thought the movie was going to be a continuation, which basically was called Bad Apples, from Bandai, I hope I'm pronouncing this, because Bungo Stray Dogs. But no, apparently it was not. It was called Bad Apple. It was just like a single feature film of sorts. And then I was like, okay, I thought this was the new season. I thought they were calling it Bad Apple. No, it turns out that it wasn't. Season 3 is here now and has 5 episodes. It starts like from 30. It basically starts off where the investigative group, the main group, the good guys, have just finished fighting. I forgot the name of the group. Oh, goodness gracious. So basically it leaves off from season 2, and now there's some new threats. But it's kind of weird. It doesn't do that until like maybe the 3rd episode or so. And the beginning episodes, like I think they say it's 30, but I'm gonna say it's 1 and 2. You kind of get a backstory about Zanjo. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry, I was pronouncing it wrong. Danzai. You kind of get some backstory about him in his days where he was in Port Mafia, and So yeah, you get a little bit of backstory of who's who in that, and then later on you get back into like right after where it hit season right after season 2. So that was pretty interesting. I actually thought that it was going to be like a little bit more, but I'm wondering if that was done on purpose because of the movie, kind of giving you a backstory of a little bit of this and that. Yeah, actually, I would love to see more about Denzel's days in Port Mafia, but we shall see what's going on. The next one on my list is it's 3 new episodes, or actually 3 upcoming series which is really cool. The first one is Demon Slayer, and that one has 6 episodes. Right now, I could only find it on Crunchyroll. If you guys check, you'll probably be able to find it on Hulu or Funimation, those sites. Okay, so basically the Tanzino, I hope I'm not pronouncing that right. He basically is selling coal for his family. The father had passed away, and he has a bunch of brothers and sisters that he is taking care of along with the mother. And he goes out, he's a very sweet, kind boy who goes out and sells firewood for his family, coal, charcoal, whatever, for the family. And one night he doesn't make it home on time. It gets late, and he basically, stays over at a neighbor's house, basically. But when he arrives, he's met with a really gruesome discovery where he finds his family slaughtered and his sister has turned into a demon. He basically wants to become a demon slayer so that he can help his sister become human again and kill the demon that slaughtered his family. I kind of feel like this anime has a little bit of Naruto, the way the character is. The premise, it's not terribly original, but it is good. I love the way that it's drawn. It is a good pace. And it has some really good episodes. I've been thoroughly enjoying this one a lot. And again, that's on Crunchyroll. You guys can look it up to find out where else you can see that at. The next one is a new one. It's called Midnight Occult Civil Servant. It has 6 episodes. Again, I found that on Crunchyroll, but again, you can look that up where else you can find it at. Okay, so basically, you can guess by the civil service that basically, it's going to be case after case after case, and none of them seem to be connecting right off the back. But with that being said, the Midnight Occult basically helps what they call others, basically like Tanjai, Yokai, angels, fairies, but try to keep them away from the public eye and help them in any which way they can. But before the new guy came in, they didn't understand what the others were saying, and that's what they call them. They call them others, and they didn't understand what they were saying because he was speaking in a different language. Now the new guy is extremely special because he's always seen these creatures. He always saw like this white cat growing up, but no one else could see the cat and hear the cat. He basically has some type of priest lineage of sorts, and one of the others, who happens to be a trickster god of, I think what they call this Mexico, I forgot the name of it, because there's a bunch of them. There's he goes by, I think it was Coyote. He basically saw this young man's ancestor and mistakes him for him, because basically they look alike. So anyways, he has the of what they call the ears of sand, and he can hear the others. Now, one of his other co-workers basically, which they're kind of getting a little bit deeper into the story, he basically tells them, don't trust the others. They don't think like us. And he basically, the new guy basically is finding that out the hard way. I think it's like episode 5 or 6. He's kind of finding that out. And basically, one of his superiors also has a problem where his sister has been missing for several years now. And he joined the civil service, the occult service, because he wanted to see if he could find his sister, who he knows for a fact was taken by another, because he saw it with his own eyes. So there's 3 of them working. Actually, technically, there's 4 of them working in the office. And yeah. So it's really interesting. Like I said, it has a bunch of different cases. So I was like, okay, what does this have to do with his ancestor? You know, like, it's kind of building up, and it's kind of reinforcing certain things about what is happening in other episodes, and it's really interesting to watch. I like it. And again, that's on Crunchyroll. You can look that up. This one, I only found this on Funimation. I think I've seen this on Hulu. Not 100% sure. It has 6 episodes. It is called Fairy Gone. This one, I have to say, I love the fact that the fairies are not your traditional looking fairies. They're kind of like back in the day where people used to say that fairies were like not evil. They were kind of evil. So they manifest like into these kind of hideous creatures, really interesting creatures. And there's basically a war breaking out around this country, and the main young lady basically has been through a lot. She's lost her mother, she's lost her father, she lost her best friend during the war. Her home was burned down. So she had to drift around a little bit and started working for the mafia. And somehow the fairy got attached to her, and now she's working with the fairy agency of sorts that basically it's illegal for them to people to have any type of furry items of sorts. And so there's a lot going on with this one. It's really good. Great drawing, good pace to the story. I find it a little confusing. I wish they would have said a little bit more of why the war had happened, and maybe in the future, it'll pick up in that area. That's the only thing that I have to say about that one. All right, so the next few are on Netflix. So basically, these are on Netflix. So if you don't have Netflix, I apologize about that. And I really should look into Amazon, let's see what kind of anime they have that's available that I don't have to pay for. I have to say that I don't really know if you would call Netflix, what they show is anime, but, I guess that's what people would call them. For me, I don't want to be too nitpicky, but this is just my preference. I like a traditional anime looking, whatchamacallit, like the way it's drawn. This one, Netflix seems to have picked up the anime where it's kind of like 2D-ish, 3D-ish, and I don't know, it's a little awkward for me, but the storylines aren't bad. Ultraman was one of them. It basically had 1 season, and it looks like it may have a second season, but not 100% sure on that, and no word on that yet. Basically, Ultraman, this particular Ultraman from Netflix, it's like passing the torch from the original Ultraman, which happens to be the main character's father, and he basically fights the battles and tries to figure out how to be the best Ultraman he can possibly be. Ingress, this one I was a little confused. It took me a while to figure this out. Ingress was basically I don't know what system it is, but apparently it's a video game, a very popular video game. And you have to pick a side, like a green and a blue, and but in this particular one, it seems like there's 3 different sides to pick, and the red is basically the bad, the green and the blue, and it is 1 season on Netflix. It's really interesting. It's a little confusing, so you definitely have to pay attention to this one. This one I'm actually starting, and I don't know how many episodes, probably just 1 season as well, because Netflix seems to do that with their, sometimes with their animes, not particularly all of them. Reversions, basically it's about a group of young people who had a very traumatic incident when they were very young. They got split up as time went on, but what the visitor has said to them was that they are all very important, and that this one particular main character, he's really important because he's the strength and he's going to protect the others. And basically it looks like it's going to be, them fighting in types of robots. So that one, looks pretty interesting. I just started watching it. I just heard about it, so I decided to add that one to the list as well of the spring 2019 anime. So that is my list, guys. Let me know which anime you think I should be watching or would find interesting. Again, it's Bonsai Stray Dogs, Demon Slayer, Midnight the Occult, Fairy Gone. On Netflix is Ultraman, Ingress, and Revisions. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 anime. Wow, interesting. All right, I would definitely love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of this list. Anything that you think I should catch, and let me know where I can catch it at, and leave it down below, or you can always email me. My email is Eileen@eileenlittlecrafter.com. You can email me comments or questions, or leave them down below, your comments or questions. And please don't forget to subscribe and like this podcast. Thank you for listening, and I will see you. Not see you. I will be on next week. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.